started from not knowing anything to becoming the first utility to be able to perform beyond line of sight operations. No other utility has been able to do that in the United States.
Every utility has infrastructure that's deteriorating. And how are you going to find it? Where is that needle in the haystack?
The promise of a robust UAS program, at the heart of which will be drones, I think that's a game changer.
Xcel Energy is revolutionizing the utility industry by pioneering the use of drones to inspect infrastructure, enhance safety, realize savings, and improve reliability for its customers. And it all started with a simple conversation among a few people.
A conversation developed into a really good idea. And we started really focusing on what would be the added benefits for the company using this technology.
Then the small cross-functional group expanded the idea and decided to find a project that would prove the concept.
One of the first missions we did was a survey of the landfill in Red Wing, Minnesota. The UAV captures overlapping imagery. We combine that overlapping imagery with some ground control points. We're able to create a 3D model of that surface of what the ground looks like in the landfill, and from that we're able to take the surface we had from previous years and calculate a volume or a change in elevation between the two surfaces, which gives us how much we filled that landfill over the year.
We flew at a single turbine and did a blade inspection. We looked at the leading edge and it looked perfectly fine, but then when we rotated 120 degrees off to the side of the blade, you could see delamination of a protective coating that we put on the leading edge. With our proof of concept mission, we were able to do an entire turbine in about 30 minutes.
You know, we were down to doing burner inspections, for example, every third year, because that's the only time we have a long enough window. Now, this can be same day. I get in there, we look around, we fly the drone up, in a couple hours we get information that otherwise we couldn't have gotten that year.
One of the things that makes Xcel really unique is the desire for different business units to work together. So I think about how in the past vegetation management worked with transmission engineering to really leverage the same data set for different uses. That's key, and I really give a lot of credit to Xcel's UAS team, where it is a cross-functional, multi-business area approach, because most utilities don't approach it that way.
The UAS program is about more than drones. It's about the power of the information collected and the improved safety for our employees.
The UAS technology in and of itself is very intoxicating, and it's easy to get kind of lost in the newness of it. But really, at the end of the day, it's just a platform. It's just a platform to collect data.
It is taking work that is required and necessary and making it much more efficient.
Anytime we don't have to put people in the air and have them work at elevation, in other words, it's something that a UAV can perform, that's really attractive. That really does a great job in moving us towards our journey to zero.
But actually getting to the proof of concept missions was harder than you might imagine.
At the time, the FAA was not ready to commercialize unmanned aircraft systems across the nation. On June 21st, they finally approved a first set of rules to integrate unmanned aircraft systems within the national airspace. This is a game changer for the industry. This is going to start a new era in aviation. This new rule will allow us to conduct inspections on a regular basis using unmanned aircraft systems, so it's very exciting.
The team also discovered that, in some cases, off-the-shelf drones wouldn't work for Xcel Energy's needs.
Most drones are built to use outdoor light. In fact, I think the FAA restricts others from flying at night. You know, we're flying in boilers or other large equipment, and so it's dark. We have to carry our own lighting on board to see what we want to see.
So they looked for people who could help them create the drones they needed, including outside consultants.
So many of the systems that you read about in the paper are usually one or one end of the spectrum or the other end of the spectrum. So they're typically a craft that can fly for less than an hour, and their system is publicly available very easily. The other end of that spectrum would be something like a Predator, or a large military system that is being leveraged by the military. So I guess our approach is really right down the center of those two, providing great capability at a reasonable price and being able to affect large swaths of infrastructure.
College students are even getting in on the action.
I'll be a senior at the University of Minnesota in the Twin Cities. I've worked with Xcel Energy and some of the executive leadership to find sponsorship and funding for a senior design project that we will be building another custom indoor drone. I've been helping the indoor team 3D print parts for our drones just to help us be able to fly easier and safer. So everything is changing and we're just trying to take the best of everything and see what would work best for us.
Then there was the challenge of actually flying the drones.
Early on when we're like, oh sweet, we get to fly drones at work, this is going to be awesome, but really it's pretty stressful. Because you're flying in a place where you don't have GPS stabilization and some of the other things, and so you're flying every second, and we're looking for pretty specialized things: erosion, cracking, displacement of tubes or burners or other components, and so you also need the pilot to know the details, the gory details of that equipment and what they're looking for, where they are in the equipment. Sometimes we're flying not line of sight. So we might fly, up inside a boiler, and so the guy looking at the screen not only has to know what he's looking for, but he has to have some mental image of this is the size and shape of the space, and whatever he sees with the forward-facing camera, he's got to know where he is, and hey, if I go 2 feet to the right, am I going to crash into something?
The challenge there is to carve out the UAS missions that deliver the most value in terms of enhancing safety, protecting the environment, and reducing cost.
The possibilities are limitless.
It's going to absolutely change the way we do our business. It's going to absolutely transform our current processes.
Xcel Energy employees could take a lot of pride in that fact that, the Xcel is a forward-thinking utility that's, putting their money where their mouth is and figuring out these big problems that otherwise might not be figured out.
Safety, reliability, quality, affordability to our customers, doing our best every day, achieving operational excellence, which is all about continuous improvement and consistency across the enterprise. And it's spot on. It does all of that. It is perfectly aligned with our vision, mission, and values, bottom line.